See? Even my cup is French. Hi guys! Today I want to talk about my journey with French because this is the language of my life. I started learning French at 11 years old because I was deeply obsessed with Paris, with French aesthetics, I also chose translation from French as my uni degree, and currently I'm finishing my exchange year in France, so you cannot get more serious with this language than that. And today I wanted to share my general tips on creating a study plan, how to find the best resources, and my other tips on how to reach the higher level in French, because this is really the stuff I wish I knew when I was at the lower levels. They really skyrocketed my learning. So for each level, there are specific skills you need to master. You need to find the information about what topics, what vocabulary, what grammar you need to master to have that level. So for example, you are at B1 French and you want to get to B2, you need to be able to understand the fundamental idea of a complex text or technical piece related to his field. Alliance Française in Auckland suggests this plan for each level in French. You can screenshot them and get them as a base for your learning. During your day, you need to set time for both active learning and passive learning. What does active studying mean? Basically, you, for example, have an article to read and your vocabulary to analyze. You sit your ass down for 1 hour, get your Pomodoro, and just read and learn. You're focused on learning. And passive studying means doing a task in your target language, not just because you are trying to learn something, but because you want to genuinely understand this piece of information. That is to say, for example, you can just read 10 pages of a book, not trying to learn new vocabulary. You're reading this book because you're genuinely interested in the topic. You just want to understand it, and you would still read it even if it was in your native language. This is what passive studying means. You're just doing the things that you would do in your native language, but you're doing it in French. This is why you don't need to study 2 or 3 hours a day, only grammar. In my humble opinion, you should aim for 1 hour of active study and around 20 or 30 minutes for passive. That is journaling, watching a video, reading a book. Just do something that relaxes you but also your target language. I've already talked about how I'm creating the study plans for my language learning. You should watch the previous video. But just to summarize, you need to first set goals, specific ones, find resources, we will talk about that, decide how much time each day or a week you can dedicate to the language. Then you need to mix up tasks during the week. Please don't study only grammar every day. You need to master all of the skills, that is writing, listening, reading. For example, I love to do 1 hour of grammar on Monday and 1 hour on Thursday. On Tuesday I do listening, and on Wednesday I could do writing, just to mix up the routine so that you don't get bored and make sure that you're focusing on all of the aspects of the language, on all of the skills. Also, my little tip would be to decide on the non-negotiables. For example, when something unpredictable happens during your day and you just physically do not have an hour to dedicate to grammar, for example, right? You need to figure out the most important thing, the smallest thing that you can do to make sure that you're still making progress in your language learning and you don't break your strike. For example, for me, I will not finish my day if I do not watch at least a 3-minute video on YouTube in French. Even if I learn just 1 word a day, I think it's a success. It was a good day. Now, the biggest thing that has skyrocketed my French was immersion. Full immersion in the language. The easiest thing to do is to find a YouTuber that you would be obsessed with. You would be so obsessed with them that you would just watch every single video of theirs. You would progress so freaking much just because you're genuinely interested. And when you're interested, your brain tries to understand as much as possible. And when you're not lazy, you also translate unknown vocabulary. You learn so much faster, okay? The second thing you can do is do your everyday tasks in French. Ça veut dire quoi? Ça veut dire googling in French, making lists in French, journaling in French, speaking in French, setting your phone language to French. Just basically go for French whenever you can. Instead of googling their recipes in your own language, you can just go, hey Google, comment je peux préparer les escargots, bitch? What resources do you need and where do you find them? Luckily for you, I have prepared a collection of resources for you. Study French from websites where you can learn grammar to the movies you can watch in your free time. These resources can be adapted to all levels because there are a few books in a series for beginners and for advanced learners. You can find the link in the description below. Now, I want to check your mistakes. Like, Rika, oh my god, I'm learning the language alone. How do I know if I'm progressing? How do I know if I'm saying anything right? Like, I got you. To check your grammar, check your, for example, writing, you can ask ChatGPT. Just basically paste your text and ask ChatGPT to correct it for you and ask for detailed explanation of the mistakes. The third thing would be to record yourself. When I was learning English, I would always record myself speaking, just random stuff. I would talk about something, then I would go back and watch those videos and I would find my mistakes. Of course, you will not see all of your mistakes, but especially at those levels, intermediate to advanced, you already know how the language is supposed to sound. You already know intuitively how you should speak. This is a nice practice. My final tip would be to seriously decide and commit to language learning. For a long time, I struggled with making progress just because I was not serious with French. I learned English so freaking fast. I was to go to the United States for an exchange. The deal fell through, and with French, I didn't have many motivations. It's only in the past years that I decided to get the uni degree in French, and the opportunity to go to France came up. It was the time for me to actually decide to seriously commit to French, and I think this is what has helped me to skyrocket my French. For me, French has opened up so many opportunities for studying, for traveling, for money making. It's really a beautiful language that serves now as a base for other Romance languages. It's so much easier for me to learn Italian right now because I already know French and the words are very familiar and it flows easier, right? And I think it's very beautiful. I'm currently working on getting the C1 level and I will be sharing bits of my journey on this channel, so don't forget to subscribe. I hope you have a great time and j'espère see you next week. Bisous!